So families today, you know, the kind of study I did in the 70s of sitting with a family and trying to understand how this child is figuring out if she can adopt a baby from the conversation around her. And you look at what's happening in family today with children and their cell phones and all of the digital stuff. And then you think of all this stuff that is coming at families, and the stress levels are at a point where I think many human beings are at breaking point. And so we can wait for a group of people at the UN across nation states to find a way towards peace, or governments are going to do that, or we can sit passively by, or we can act. And the good piece of this, and there's always a good side. There's, you know, the part that is so phenomenal. It's beyond anything that you could imagine in your wildest dreams. Except, of course, it happens in Split. I did imagine it. I didn't think it would take place. Is this extraordinary youth movement? It is so exciting, and they are so articulate, and they get it. And they need to bring their parents along and their grandparents. You know, we have to not only support them, but we have to take a lead as well. Not to replace them, but to work alongside with them. And that to me is the best or the most important thing that is happening right now. So I was at a meeting at the UN in December, and Jeffrey Sachs spoke and talked about this is the most dangerous time for humanity. And the president of the assembly spoke, and the thing that he said, which was so, I think, that we need to take to heart, is that while everyone at the UN is aware that this is a very serious moment, and that we're closer to a major war than at any time since the Second World War, and everyone is on board for peace building, sustaining peace, making sure that peace goes into the future. But nobody is willing to have anyone come into their countries and work with them. So the word that kept being used in December was silo, that everyone is in their silos. And that goes across the sciences, and how we look at existential risk. You know, this is an existential risk, here's one over here, and we don't put them together. So everyone is very interested in peace, but not if you're going to come into my country. And so the thing that for me, just bells going off, it's very exciting to think that there's peacekeeping going on through family literacy in nearly every country in the world. Not only is there peacekeeping going on, or peacemaking, or sustaining peace, there's also work that's going on around sustainable development. So you've got three major areas in which family literacy programs are taking place in countries. One is to increase literacy. We know that you increase the literacy of girls, mothers, and their daughters, has huge impact on the social situation in which they're living, but it also has an impact. The more literate, the greater the economic, and this is important to most countries. So economic development depends upon educating girls and their mothers. And so there's that piece of it that's going on, but the other piece of it that's going on that is just as important is that there are family literacy programs that are supporting children with PTSD, and that are dealing with AIDS, that are dealing with incredible poverty, that are dealing with health issues. And so just as in my work, family literacy became a portal into looking at the relationships between people and their and government, etc., to bureaucracies, whether it's school or it's the justice system, healthcare. That's happening in family literacy programs that are taking place around the world. And so, while I don't know if this sounds absolutely bizarre, it's not bizarre to me, but that doesn't mean a thing, is that we have a conduit for working for peace that is already taking place within countries without calling it, a peace initiative. It's a family literacy initiative that is focusing on peace. So the idea that we could focus on that with families, to me, or with countries, is really important. Not because it's something we have to do from scratch, but it's something that's already taking place, and we need to talk about it. We need to talk about how human families are working towards peace, as well as all the other stuff that's going on.